#1 playlist.
Hey, this is David and Tiffany Spencer reminding you that we are one.
And you're listening to the Psalmist Voice Radio Network. Walk with us, family. Let's go!
Let's take it back. Old school. G, let's move. Say that's what he is. Come on.
That's what he is to me.
G. Now this is a Philly song. We're going back to the high praise days. That's what he is.
That's what he is to me.
G. Salute to Professor Kevin Pringle.
That's what he is to me.
Philly history, y'all. Come on. That's what he is.
That's what he is to me.
Take it up, G. Say that's what he is.
That's what he is to me.
G.
Jehovah Jireh.
That's it. I know y'all grooving. Come on.
That's what he is to me.
Jehovah.
Jehovah Jireh.
That's what he is.
That's what he is to me.
Jehovah.
Jehovah Jireh.
Come on, that's what he is.
That's what he is to me.
G.
Jehovah Jireh. That's what he is to me.
G.
Jehovah Jireh.
Come on, that's what he is. Tell me.
That's what he is to me.
Turn it up, G.
Jehovah Jireh.
That's what it is. Come on.
That's what he is to me.
G.
Jehovah Jireh.
That's what it is.
That's what he is to me.
Jehovah.
Jehovah
And then that's what it is.
That's what he is to me.
Jehovah.
Jehovah
Come on, say that's what it is to me.
That's what he is.
One more time, Jehovah. That's what it is to me. Put your hands together. I said that's what it is to me.
That's what he is.
That's what it is to me.
That's what he is to me.
Come on. That's what it is to me.
That's what he is to me.
Come on. That's what it is to me.
That's what he is to me.
That's what it is to me. Say it.
That's what he is to me.
What's up, everybody? This is John and Sequoia Howard of the Agape Music Group.
Hey, and you're listening to the Psalmist Voice Radio Network. Let's get it.
Let's go!
All of my artists, all of my fans, giving my cash to you, so please hold me near. You said you won't leave me, I knocked on my own, there in the triumph, even when I fall, 'cause my hope is all in you. Every word you say is true. You are working for my good. So everything you do is good. You're the God that brings the fire. Oh, you're the God that brings the rain. Oh, you're the God that brings the fire. Oh, you're the God that brings the rain. Oh, brought me out, deep waters. Now I live with and you never change. And my hope is only you. Every word you say is true. You are working for my good. Everything you do is good. You're the God that brings the fire. Oh, you're the God that brings the rain. Oh, you're the God that brings the fire. Oh, you're the God that brings the rain. Oh, amazed at your sovereignty, amazed at your heart for me. You care for me, always been there for me. Even in the bad times, even in the good times, you're so good. Even when I can't see it, when I can't feel it, you're so good. You're in the day, you are in the night, just like you're there in the low. You are there in the highs, yeah. Nothing contains you. Your ways are higher, your ways are greater, and nothing can separate you from your God. You're the God that brings the rain, God of rain. You're the God that brings the fire. Oh, you're the God that brings the rain. Oh, you're the God that brings the fire. Oh, you're the God that brings the rain. Oh, you're the God that brings the fire. Oh, you're the God that brings the rain. Oh, you're the God that brings the fire. Oh, you're the God that brings the rain. Oh, you're the God that brings the fire. Oh, you're the God that brings the rain. Oh, you're the God that brings the fire. Oh, you're the God that brings the rain. Oh,
every time I hear the church bell ring, every time.
Start a new journey. In 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
It's the two-time Stellar Award considered, Spin Award nominated. You're listening to The Voice, the Psalmist Voice Radio Network.
What's good, family? Come taste the craze of Kimmy's Creations. You can order on Facebook at Kimmy's Creations or email timeskimberly@gmail.com or call right now 702-773-0337. Kimmy creates that fire. Order yours today. Yum. party of the summer is here. Summer Splash 2022. For all vendor and artist submission, please email at tpvradio2020@gmail.com. Walk with me, family. Let's go. What's good, radio family? It's your boy, the Psalmist Voice. The Psalmist Voice Radio Network has adopted Blessings on the Block community outreach here in the CTX, and we are excited about this. But you can help us out, family. There are 3 ways to do it with our partnership packages. First up is the Let's Go Nation 100, the Let's Go Nation 75, and the Let's Go Nation 25. Every 3 months, 10% of your partnership, family, goes to Blessings on the Block community outreach. So family, become a partner today. Let's ride with the nation and walk with me, family. Let's go.
In a world where nothing is certain, only music can help you to find the right way. The way you should follow today. This way will take you to the best genres of music from around the world. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome.
You're listening to The Sound.
Satisfy my longing. Only you can satisfy my heart. Only you can satisfy my longing. Only you can satisfy my heart. Oh, taste and see. He is good. Taste and see. My God is good.
Come on.
My God is good. Taste and see. He is good. Only you can satisfy my longing. Oh, taste and see. He is good.
Woo.
He is good. He's the lover of my soul. He is good. Only you, my longing. You'll never thirst again once you drink of this water. My God is good. Oh, taste and see. He is good, yeah. Only you, woo, my longing. Only you can satisfy my longing. Only you can satisfy my heart. Only you can satisfy my longing. Only you can satisfy my heart. You are good, Lord. You are good, Lord. I said you're so good. You are good. His mercy endures forever. His mercy endures forever.
It's the exclusive interview with the Psalmist Voice right now on TPV Radio.
Ladies and gentlemen, the exclusive interview proudly presents Basta Jason Hendrickson.
Hey, my brother, how you doing, man?
I'm good, man. God bless you. Thank you so much for coming on the show in such short notice. I hope I didn't make you choke on your breakfast over there, because I know you. That was like
Whoa. So yeah.
that was some type of intro. I'm not gonna hold you. That was fantastic.
Well, you heard how off the wall I was on All Nations Radio.
Yeah.
Now you're here. Now
I
you
love
get
the
to
energy,
feel.
man. I love it. I love it.
Well, if you're not awoke, you're woke now.
That's right.
So welcome to the show, Pastor.
Thank you, man. I appreciate. Thank you for having me.
Nah, no problem, man. Thank you so much. And your EP, Longing, I'm telling you, man, you could just have the most worst day, and you could just pop that thing in, and you just, woo, Jesus.
Yes,
I mean,
sir.
I'm telling you
Yes,
that you can feel the
Yeah.
anointing in the song. It's not your typical, well, yeah, that's another EP, you know, but you can feel it in your Shande, like I like to call it.
Amandio shy.
Yes, sir. Don't get me started, because I'm just as bad as Bishop. I'll get this thing rolling. But yeah, speaking of Shande Abosa, listen, the exclusive interview is not your typical artist showcase.
Mhm.
So I do not apologize for the Holy Ghost showing up and showing out. So
Yes,
there
sir.
you go. So
Yes, sir.
if we go off in a tangent, Pastor, we got two passes on the line, and you know how that go. When we start going in the spirit, we might have some church up in here and wake some
just
folks
might.
up this morning.
We just might.
Well, of course, we have five questions we like to ask our awesome guest. And of course, we have two icebreakers just to set the atmosphere just a little bit.
Okay.
So, ladies and gentlemen, I'm ready. Pastor's ready. So
Yes, sir.
let's get it.
Let's
go. So, first question of the day, the icebreaker. What do you think about the state of gospel music today? You have the floor.
I think it's in a great position. Reason being because the pandemic, this virus has kind of, in my opinion, broken down the establishment of everything related to God. Because I think for a long time, people were building monuments unto themselves instead of ministries unto God. So I think by us seeing things like Kanye West being in 23 of the top 25 spots, it's just God's way of saying, man, none of y'all guys got a monopoly on this thing. I will use any and whoever I want to when I want to. And y'all can get mad, y'all can get upset and talk about Kanye this, Kanye that, but you better get on the ball, because what God is doing, in my opinion, he's using an influencer like Kanye to bring attention to his name. And instead of us getting upset, we should be putting out more music. We should be flooding the radio, flooding the world with the message of hope, with the message of the gospel, because God made a promise that I will not return until the gospel is preached to the four corners of this world. He never said who was going to be the one that he used. And I think a lot of us are upset because it's not happening through the church. But the church as we know it, whether y'all know it or not, it doesn't exist anymore. God is the same, but church, the establishment, what we knew, is dead. And anybody trying to hold on to that old way of doing stuff, you are lost. So I think gospel music is in a dope position right now. And I intend to be one of the ones that get on the wave and ride it for the glory of God.
Look, don't get mad at me, TPV family. He already started something. Now, I've been saying this for a while now.
Mm-hmm.
There's been a reset, not only in the industry, but just churchdom as we know it. Everything has switched. See, of course, we have a lot of folks. Well, let me stop saying that, because I'm not trying to get no DMs. All I'm saying is that some of us have gone back to church as usual and preaching Malachi 3. But that's a whole nother show, whole nother time. See, and you're right. We got a lot of little G's trying to represent the big G. What is he talking about? Well, I'm just co-signing of what Pastor Hendrickson just said. We are trying to be the God. We are trying to be the face. We are trying to be the one people lean on. We're the ones who tries to be the voice that people have to come to seek God. Well, I got news for you. God has called all his people back to relationship.
Yeah.
See. And that includes your ministry.
Yeah.
See, you can write all the hot hits all you want, but if it's not stirring up something in your Shonday, oh boy. See, I said I wasn't going to start. See, if it's not going to stir up nothing in your Shonday, we have a problem.
Yeah.
And the problem is no one wants to be bold enough. Yeah, I said it. Bold enough to still, yes, I get it. It's a fine line between entertainment and the business and ministry. I got that. We'll get to that later on. Yeah. But all I'm saying is we have to know what our assignment is. See, the indie artist right now is hot. Why? Because you're not restricted.
Yeah.
You're not stuck. You're not contractually obligated to sing with Lil Wayne and Lil Baby. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to say that. My bad. Yeah, I said it. See, we got all these things going on. Now, if we're supposed to be the light in the dark place, Pastor, what I don't understand is, yes, we have a ministry. Yes, there's industry. Yeah, and I'm doing my little finger thing because that's just how it is.
Right.
Whether you're in radio, artist, or a pastor, there's three ways that the devil's attacking. If you're a man of God, he's going to attack your brain, your soul first. He's going to try to suck everything that's God out of you. Second, if you are an instrument, voice box, that is, like the horn, the trumpet, he gonna try to sabotage that. See, our voice is strong enough to knock down the walls of Jericho.
Right.
Modern day, we got a lot of walls up in the industry.
Yeah.
But the problem is we're not bold enough to walk through the. See, let me stop. You know what? All right. Let me calm down. All right. Let me calm down a little bit. Let me get to the second icebreaker question before we get kicked off the air. Okay. What impact you want to make in this season in the gospel industry? You have the floor.
I just want to make sure that whatever we put out represents Christ in a way that makes it appealing to unbelievers. I'm not looking to recycle people that already know God. I'm looking to strengthen them because I do believe even people that have been in the way a long time get weak and need to make a stop at a spiritual gas station and get filled up again. But I'm really going after people that don't know God. And that's why our whole presentation, the way we dress, everything, people think for some strange reason that when you get saved, you become corny. You lose your swag. I'm not wearing no collar every day. I've been pastoring for 9 years. I'm not wearing no sharkskin suit every day. I'm not driving no big Cadillac. I'm not wearing no big gold chain across my chest. I don't knock nobody that does that, but the demographic that I'm trying to reach, they need to see that you can still have swag and love Jesus. And so that's the goal for me, to impact people to know that your life becomes better. Doesn't become perfect, because we got to make sure that we present a realistic side of the gospel too, because for too long people think once you get saved nothing's supposed to happen. No, you get saved, people still get sick, people die, you lose jobs, you go through divorce, your kids act crazy. It's a whole another gamut of an attack because now you're on the opposite side of the devil. So when you're on his turf, he encourages you. He doesn't attack you. But once you make a cognizant decision that I'm ready to live for God, that's when all hell breaks loose. But the thing people need to remember is when hell attacks you, heaven got your back. So, you know, that's the impact. That's the message I want to send to people, that when hell attacks you, remember heaven's got your back.
See, see that's the same vein we're on. Like, I'm not trying to be collared up.
Yeah,
I'm just not. Now, there's certain things that require you to wear it.
Absolutely.
But I'm just not trying to flow like that.
I'm not
just
doing
not.
it every day. I'm not.
And you were right. When you move over, and see, I like to use this analogy a lot. We have Team Raw, which is the Devil's team. And then we have Team SmackDown, which is the Lord's team.
I take it you're a wrestling fan.
Yeah, I'm a big wrestling fan, as you can tell.
Yes,
see, we have to understand something, but this is an awesome analogy, though, because when you are drafted from Raw to SmackDown, like you just said, all hell will break loose in your life. Why? Because when you are on Raw, you're used to doing things. You used to dropping it like it's hot, no repercussions. You used to taking it back a few with no repercussions. You used to doing your own thing.
Yeah.
You think there's no repercussions. But see, when you say, I do to the Father, your natural life will be turned, flipped, turned, sideways, blown up, whatever you want to call it. See, this is why we have to develop our relationship and get our heart posture back on track.
Yeah.
See, we love the stuff, Pastor, but we don't love what God has put inside of us because it's too hard. I'm tired of being beat up. I'm tired of doing it. Look, we got so used to the 2-minute microwave salvation and redemption program. We got so used to putting 2 minutes on the microwave, press the start button, and expect results just like that. It don't happen that way.
No.
This walk is like a chessboard. We have to strategically move with the time.
Yeah.
And the time is now to move strategically to get people saved without the same old.
Yeah.
I'm sorry to say it, but even in the industry and in our church. Okay. All right. I'm gonna stop. All right. What has your relationship with God helped you learn as He's opened doors for you in this season?
Patience and compassion, because I think that sometimes we forget how God handles us when it comes to us handling people. And so that's one of the main takeaways I take now as a father, as a pastor, just to be more patient, because people will do things that will upset you. People will do things that will hurt you. And, you know, sometimes the people that you love the most hurt you the most. Ooh. And it's like that relationship that I have with God. I know that God really loves me. He's proven that by what He did on Calvary. And I know for me as an individual, as a man, throughout my life, I've really hurt God by the things that I've done. And He still is compassionate towards me. He's never once thrown me away. He's never once turned His back on me. So that is the difficult takeaway for me, to be more like Him when it comes to people. And so that's just the thing that I am striving to do, to love people more in spite of how they treat me. Not to be a walking mat, but to just give a godly, earthly example of what Christ is like. And that's kindness and compassion. Because one thing I do know, and I believe, that compassion cures more sin than condemnation. So, as a pastor, I'm preaching compassion. I'm preaching covering, not condoning. Things that people really need while they're hurting, because the church has this reputation, if they don't know it, of just being takers. The pastor's the only one with a dope car, only one that dressed nice. Your wife is the only one with red bottoms, and everybody else is trying to figure out how we gonna pay our rent. You know what I'm saying? And but we getting up having 30 days of birthday services and all this kind of crazy stuff. And that's why I'm so glad that God flatlined all of that. And anybody, again, that's trying to go back to that stuff, you have missed the whole purpose of us being quarantined. Because when you go into the book of Isaiah, I think it's the 26th chapter, it happened back in the Old Testament.
Yeah.
There was indignation in the atmosphere, and God told the prophet, tell my people, go inside their house. Do not come back outside until the indignation has passed. But my question to all of us, to every pastor, every creative, every musician, songwriter, entrepreneur, what have you been doing behind the closed door? Because now it's time to get back outside. And you got some people that's doing in 2021 what they were doing in 2019 and don't understand why they're not blessed. Because you wasted your season in seclusion, playing around, being lazy, sleeping all day, crying and complaining, instead of understanding that this pandemic, even now, is a moment for the people of God to really become the head and not the tail, to be above and not beneath. Because this is a moment in time. This is a Kairos moment where God is saying the faithful will flourish.
Okay, the show's over. All right, goodbye. No, see. This is, oh my God. Okay, let me try to get through this stuff, because Pastor we about to preach, and I'm trying to be good here. Because see, you throwing back the Shonday over here, and I'm feeling it all the way over here in the CTX. So I'm trying to be nice. See, so let me get back to my due diligence and make sure I ask the questions that the people want to hear, and then we'll go ahead and then start this thing off right. But anyway, let me stop. All right. Now, second question. What made you decide to pursue fully not only being a pastor, not only being a gospel recording artist, but also you got your hands in attire? Now, tell the family a little bit about that, because I need to know about the attire part, because the Psalmist Voice need a whole new wardrobe. I'm not a small man, but I'm from the East Coast, and I'm in Texas, and the clothes down here versus the clothes in the East Coast, whole different swag. So we got to connect on that. But anywho, tell the family about those three components, about the pastoring. Then you're also going into the gospel recording industry, and then you're marinating in the apparel. And as the people see right here on your overlay, you got that shiny blazer going on. And I had to make sure I wear my shades when I was getting your artwork together, because the bling was just too much. So I had to kind of get my shades on just to make sure I set the stuff right so it looked good. But let me stop playing. All right, sir. What made you decide, or what God decide for you in regards to going into all three elements in your season?
Well, I'll start with the pastoring. Pastoring, the name of my church is Restoration tabernacle, but I had an outreach ministry that I started in 1996 called Restoration Outreach Ministry, which we would go out into the hood and feed people, do a lot of outreach events. And then we started having fourth Sunday night services because I come from Love Fellowship with Bishop Hezekiah Walker, and that was what we did. But as the choir started to get, more exposed to the industry, we stopped doing our fourth Sunday night services. So I was like, man, I'm gonna pick it back up. So I started having fourth Sunday night services, and my outreach ministry became a church without me even knowing it. I had a praise team, I had praise dancers, I had ushers, I had nurses all on my staff. And then it started growing, and I started bringing in people like Twinkie Clark and, having the top-notch preachers, Mark Vereen, and it just started getting crazy. We went from, packing a 200-seater to packing a 1,000-seater on a Sunday night. Yeah, it was crazy. And my bishop came to me after a while. I started doing my group New Sounds and just doing ministry and started traveling. And in 2012, my pastor said to me, he said, man, what you gonna do? I was like, what you talking about? He said, are you a pastor? I was like, yeah, but I don't want to do that right now. I just put out my first album. I'm getting ready to go on tour. And he was like, okay, no problem. He said, we're going to give you 6 months. He came to church. That was on a Wednesday. He came to church that Sunday and said, God said, now, today is your last Sunday here. And I said, excuse me? He said, God said, now. And we launched the church in 2012. And here we are going on 9 years. The Lord has been faithful to us. And as far as the music, that started when I was 5, playing drums, beating on the pots and pans in my mom's kitchen. Back in the 80s, they, mothers would have those big wooden spoons. And, I took 2 of them. I was banging on the pots. And I started playing for my church. Got kicked off the drums every Sunday by a guy named Tyrone Lewis, my God brother, I'm gonna blow you up, and a guy named Nat Keith. These guys in my eyes were terrorists because they were the main drummers, and I used to bring a pair of drumsticks in my mom's pocketbook every Sunday and just be, fiending for Tyrone and Nat to be late for church. And when they was late for church, I would run up to the drums and I would play. And in the middle of the song, they'd come cool, being all cool and kick me off. And I said, you know what? I'm going to be better than both of them. I'm going to do more than they ever done. And sure enough, I flew right past them and started playing for James Hall and Worship and Praise. Then started playing for Bishop Hez. And I did that for about 9-10 years, won a Grammy Award with him, just a whole bunch of stuff. And then I got fired from Love Fellowship. I got fired because Bishop Walker was real strict, man. He didn't play around. And I was at that age where I wanted to do my own thing. I wanted to chase girls and, and he wasn't having. He was like, yo, if you do that one more time, I'm sending you home on the first thing smoking. And I did something real crazy. We were on tour with Kirk Franklin, and I did something real crazy, and he found out, and he fired me.
Wow.
On the spot, and sent me home the next day, and flew in Jeff Les, who's still playing drums with the choir now. And I left from Jacksonville, it was Orlando, Florida, I think, and auditioned for this show going overseas. Got it. So I left New York, and I moved overseas for a few months. And while I was over there, that's when I got the call to become a recording artist. And I came home in 1998 and started producing. And big shout out to my brother, Big House, who taught me how to produce. And I did my first record, Drummer's Dream. And Teresa Harrison from Gospel Today heard the record, and she looked at it and she said, Jason, change the name of your album because you're a drummer. Everybody in the country knows that you play drums. And if you call it a drummer's dream, they're going to think it's an instrumental project, but it's not. And I changed it from Drummer's Dream to Let Your Mercies. And here we are. I haven't stopped putting out music since, man.
And
the clothing line. This is it right
here. Yeah. I was just about to say, because normally we folks from the East Coast, we roll on a different drum.
Mm-hmm.
Now, being here in Texas, it's a different way of life here. So when you are focused to do something, as we do in the East Coast, we don't talk about it. We just be about it. Yeah. Now, with your apparel, now I know, because I've been seeing, because you recently had a birthday. So happy birthday to you,
Thank
sir.
You, man. Appreciate it.
And this is where this picture that's on the screen, I mean, you had outfits on outfits on outfits. And I'm like, wait a minute. Like, is that Gucci? Like, what is he wearing? Like, and see, I knew you were East Coast before we even got to this point because the way you dressed. I was like, yeah, he's from the East Coast. Yeah, because that's what we do. We just do it. So just tell the family a little bit about your apparel, because of course, I'm interested. We'll talk off air. But tell them about, where did that come from? Did that come from the pandemic? Did God birth that in you? Did you already had it in you, but you just didn't have the gusto, as they say, to go forward with it? Just tell the family your journey on how that happened.
This was crazy, man. This clothing line I have was birthed through a pastor attacking my pastor.
Wow.
Yeah, and it's a crazy story. My Bishop Darrell Hill, is the direct opposite of me. I am more, what's popping, what's good, what's up? You want to knuckle up? My pastor is the direct opposite. He's like, no, he'll go there if necessary, but he's very passive. So he got into a situation where a pastor made some posts about him on social media. And so I know he wasn't going to say nothing. So I was like, I'm not going to attack my pastor. So I started putting together this package to send to that pastor's bishop. I had some craziness. You hear what I'm telling you? I had pictures and I was like, oh, you want to play? All right, let's do it. So I sent it to my bishop and was like, yo, I'm about to send this to old boy's bishop. And my bishop opened up that email and said, yo, if you send it, I'm going to silence you.
Wow.
He said, yo, that's not how we fight. We are men of God. You shut your mouth and let God vindicate us. I was like, why? He said, because God told me to be silent. I said, yeah, God told you to be silent. He ain't told me to be silent. Let me handle it. He was like, yo, pastor, if you send it, I'm going to silence you. I'm telling you right now. And so I didn't send it. I'm up teaching Bible study. And in the middle of me teaching Bible study, God says to me, start hashtagging all things. And I'm like, what? God, they got hashtags in heaven? What are you talking about? I'm bugging out. I'm like, yo, what do you mean? And so every day on social media, I start putting hashtag all things. Of course, coming from Philippians 4:13, Romans 8:28, two of my favorite scriptures. So God told me, anytime you think somebody's subbing you, saying something crazy about you, going off, making fun of you, just put up hashtag all things. So I started doing it, and it started taking, everybody starts reposting it. I mean, they didn't even know what it was about. They were just doing it because I did it. And then something said, put it on a t-shirt. I put it on a t-shirt, went crazy. Put it on a hat. Put it on a hat. Hats went crazy. Hoodies. And we went from just doing t-shirt, hats, and hoodies to now having about 35 different items. Our online store. We got trucker hats. I mean, it's crazy. Celebrities are wearing it, all because I was obedient to God. Because if I would have responded to that pastor, that would have been my reward. But because I was silent and I held my peace, God opened up another stream of income for me and my family. And from the clothing line, I now started a gourmet dessert line, which has been on Channel 4, Channel 11, about to do one of the biggest talk shows in the country. We have the banana pudding is in a couple of restaurants, all because I did not disobey leadership. That's why I still believe everybody needs a pastor. Even if you're a pastor, you need a pastor because you need somebody that's going to be that other extreme. Because I got a bad temper, you know. I turn up real quick. I'm like, whoa, who you talking to? Bye bye. And my bishop is always in my ear, like Hendrickson. And now that I'm older, I've calmed down a lot. But back then, my young man, I was crazy, man. And you know, I'm just thankful, and I hope that people hear that and understand the importance of what's on the other side of your yes to God. Because if I would have did what I wanted to do, I would have still been working a 9 to 5. I'm able not to work now for anybody else because I am able to sustain my life because of my yes.
Amen. And that's exactly what God is doing in this season.
Yeah.
And I understand that completely. And with the singing, like Longing, for example, I know that was a process because when you were singing the song, it sounded like to me you were singing a love song to the Father because of what you've been through, what you've gone through, the spiritual growth, everything that's been coming. All of that was a culmination of writing this song. So what was the creative process during producing this song? Because I ask this a lot because sometimes with a song that comes out, it's usually a testimony behind the recording. So if you don't mind, can you tell the family the process of Longing? What was the testimony behind the song?
I was really just sitting there. And this is why I tell every creative, keep these things close by, because when I'm asleep, I get most of my songs in dreams, and I wake up and I'm singing it when I'm waking up, and I grab my phone and record the voice note. So I did that with my Longing like 4 years ago, and we were and you said something so crazy. You was like, this pandemic is a reset. That's the name of my new album, Reset. And we had finished all the songs, and I was like, nah, I gotta put one more song on it. And I just happened to be going through my voice notes, and I heard a couple of songs that I wrote, and I was like, nah, that's it right there. And I just started to think about how I've tried to find satisfaction in so many other things. And not just that, just thinking about how God has sustained me through my mistakes and through my bad decisions. Having a baby out of wedlock, being divorced. I'm, according to church standards, trash. I'm somebody that should be in the back, you know, never in the microphone, never ever. But God said, nah, I look beyond that. And I see something there. And I'm gonna blow people's mind that put their mouth on you and said it would never happen. And it just was like so personal, like, yo, God, I know that you anointed me not in spite of, but because of. And I think that's what we have to start preaching. God chose me, the pastor, because I was a borderline alcoholic, because I had a baby out of wedlock, because I was a whoremonger, because I was the playboy, because I was one of the guys that everybody said, oh, he's running through all the chicks. Da, 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 da. God had to choose somebody like me, because if God can change me, he can change anybody. There's no excuse. And that's why I preach that God anointed me because of, not in spite of. And that's my testimony, man, that I want to be the poster boy for the underdog, for the guy and the young lady that church tradition has called trash. And you don't fit into the boys club. People tried to blackball me and redline me and see me on flyers and pick up the phone. You having him? What, did you not know he's divorced? They have done it all to me, brother. They have done it all to me. And here I am still standing. And some of those same people that tried to destroy me are not even relevant anymore. No one's even paying attention to what they're doing. And God kept me alive long enough for my enemies to see the favor manifest. And I'm mature enough now not to even stick my chest out. I'm like, to God be the glory, because it's not me. Because what they said about me, watch this, wasn't a lie. And some of us are not praising God because we survived the lie. I'm praising God because I outlived the truth. Because what they were saying wasn't a lie. I was all that. I was guilty, but I outlived my truth. And that's why my praise is so radical. That's why my worship, I feel God here, man. That's why it's so different, because they wasn't lying. We get stuck on what our enemies are saying, but what if what they're saying is the truth? That's a whole nother level of worship. That's a whole nother level of intimacy. And that's why this song touches you the way it does, because what's from the heart touches the heart. I was everything they said I was, but God still, here I am. I outlived the truth.
Heon had Fly come all the way over here to Texas to come into the studio and look at my Shonday cards, as I call them. And you went through just about every card that I've already had prepared. Now, I understand your story. And that's why there's a fire about to start up in here, because I was that guy.
Yeah.
I was that guy that they said, bah, 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 bah. I was that guy that purposely, and I'm not proud to say this, but I know God was persuaded when my apostle ordained me. He was persuaded by what I had to go through to get to this point. He was persuaded that even though my life was all plastered on every magazine, every Facebook post, oh Lord Jesus, that Chris, what in the world? How in the world is he a man of God? Well, I got news for you. See, the most powerful men and women in the word that we preach are the ones that was jacked up. Now, we talk about the redemption of every man of the word, but we don't preach the process. We don't preach that Noah was a drunk. We don't preach that part. We don't preach that part that Job was arrogant and had to be tested by God and be humbled by God to be who he was. See, we don't preach that part. We preach the blessing, but we don't preach the process.
Yeah.
See, they don't preach that Peter was just like me and you, going ham and cheese on anybody that came in our faith, and we had to defend ourselves constantly. But then when we was put on Front Street, I don't know the man. I don't know who he is. I don't know. See, no one's going to talk that story. See, everybody's got to have their Maybelline anointing. Oh, boy. They got to have their contour all nice. They got to have their mask all structured out. Like those little masks they have in a masquerade ball. One side black. Oh, Lord. And then they have the other side exposed. Why? Because they walking two-minded, as they say in the church. Double-minded man is unstable in all his ways. Well, I was that guy, that part. See, we got to understand something. When God says yes, I don't care what you were.
Yeah.
I don't care what you used to do. If God has a call on your life, it has nothing to do with your $1,000 seed offering. I'm sorry to say it, but it has nothing to do with it.
Right.
He looks at your heart posture.
Yeah.
Read your word. See, you could be messed up on the outside, but your heart was longing for him. Even though you was in your stuff, you were longing for your relationship with God. See, I'm going somewhere. See, people don't understand the message. They hear the music. Oh, that's a hit. Oh, that's this. Oh, that's that. No, there's a testimony and a breakthrough in this song.
Yeah.
He was persuaded that your life that you live would be a testimony to anybody right now that thinks being a Christian is a joke.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get DM'd on that one. I'm gonna get in trouble. See, the problem is, man, we got so much fake and phony nonsense going on. We throwing cliches out like they're a $2 bill, but there's no power. See, we don't want to walk in our truth and use that testimony to not only help someone else, but also to stay in the co-pilot position. Oh my God. See, we don't want to stay in the co-pilot position either. We want to be the pilot. We want to fly all the time. But we got to understand the posture of what God wants for his people in today's time, in the industry, in your ministry, when you preach, when you raise your kids, even if you've been divorced. God has power, and it's called redemption. But if your heart ain't ready to be broken, not emotionally, I'm talking about spiritually broken. Man, let see. I'm trying to. Woo. Okay. All right. We got 2 more questions. All right, because I know you got to go. All right. So, what has been the best ministry moment thus far with this project launch and your ministry?
Being here, man. Come on.
Oh,
you already know.
Wait a minute.
Come on, man.
Wait. Let me get churchy for a minute.
Did you really have to ask me that, man?
Yeah. Let me get churchy for a minute. Hold on. Wait. So you mean to tell me, man of God, that you had your best ministry moment in a show that's a small fish in the big pond? We're no Grammy Award winning show. We're not no thousands and millions of people that watch us day in and day out. You gotta think higher, man of God. What are you talking about that you're on the show? Like the exclusive interview all the way in Texas. What is your problem, man of God? We got to think higher. What are you talking about, man of God? My God, we need to pray for you now, man of God, because you have to be thinking about higher things of God. You ought to be walking in the higher callings of God. You need to be on the higher callings of shows and radio programming. What is your problem, man of God? You got to think on these things higher. Wow. Jesus. Okay, that was my corporate church moment, and I just went off for a minute. And okay, all right. All right. Well, I appreciate that. Thank you so much, Pastor, for even saying that. That means a lot. Trust me, it does. And with all of these hard questions,
you know why? I have never met anybody with your energy. This is amazing. This is why I said that, because I'm telling you, this is going in history books.
Well, see, there's a testimony behind me going hard like this, day in and day out. Don't ask the psalmist to get on the mic because it's going to be straight bananas. That's because there's a testimony behind it. Real quick, I was in an accident. 2015, I should have been dead, gone. My right leg was mangled. My left heel was crushed. Of course, my clavicle was broken. I was crushed in the car like a sardine. Should have been gone. The airbag was deployed and it was flat. I should have went through the windshield because my seatbelt was loose.
Wow.
Now, how was my seatbelt loose when I clicked the seatbelt to secure itself? Now, people don't like the hocus pocus stuff, Pastor, but I know there's angels that watch over us. Because if it wasn't for that angel to do that quick, woof, woof, real quick, I should have been through the window. But I know there was an angel that saved me that day. I know it for a fact because I should have been through the windshield.
Yeah.
Should have. In two pieces because I was stuck. So, make a long story short, that was my time when God said, I'm going to redeem the time that you stole from me. I'm going to take everything away, all the church folk, all the lingos, facades, all the stuff that you played me with. See, that's how God talks to me. I don't know about y'all, but that's how he talked to me. And I'm going to use you as a walking, breathing testimony, and I'm going to use you. That is your time, your season. Now, no matter where you go, no matter where you talk, no matter where you walk, when people see you walk, they will have a praise break. When people hear you talk, they will get something ignited in their spirit. Why? Because it's me that made you, not you. And I got over me, Pastor. That was my problem. I had that East Coast swag. I was arrogant. All the people down here thought I was just so conceited. No, we just walk a certain way. It had nothing to do with conceit. But what God did, he humbled me to the point where I was broke. And I had to trust God in all of it. All of this is God. Has nothing to do with me. And that's why I go hard, because I know what God did for me. It reminds me of what the Apostle Paul, what he said when he got that thorn in his side. Every day I'm reminded that the grace God has on my life, I cannot take that for granted. And every person that I meet, talk to, they're going to feel the power of God. Not from Pastor Chris, not from the psalmist's voice, but from me, son. Why? Because you've been doing it too much on your own, and I'm tired of you messing up my ministry I put inside you. So shut your mouth, boy. Sit on the co-pilot position and watch your daddy work. See? This is how God talks to me. And I'm sorry, y'all. I didn't want to be so churchy, but that's how he talks to me. He had to be real with me, man. And that's why I do what I do. That's why I go hard the way I do. But anyway, that's another 3-hour conversation, and we don't have time for that. So we got one more question.
Yes, sir.
This one is probably going to mess up everybody. So here we go. Number 5. What does Pastor Jason Hendrickson like to do for fun? You have the floor.
I like to do a lot of stuff, man. I like to go to the movies. I just took the men in my church fishing 2 weeks ago. That was my first time ever going fishing, and it's always been a dream of mine to go fishing with my dad, and it came true. My dad and myself and my grandson and men of the church, we all went out, and so I like fishing now. Of course, music, and what's really fun to me is reading. I'm an avid reader. Like right now, I'm reading. People probably gonna get mad at me, but I'm reading Rick Ross' new book. Yeah, and it's an amazing, it's an amazing body of work, man. And it's I'm real low key. I don't like a lot of noise, unless I'm in the studio. I don't like being around a lot of people. You know, I just like being around my crew and doing what we got to do. Yeah, so other than that, that's it. Really.
Well, there you go. He likes to stay low key
and shopping.
He likes to go. Of course.
Yeah,
well,
a little retail therapy.
Yeah, I mean, you got to get the shoes because I don't think you have the shoe line yet. But since you already got the clothes,
yeah,
you got to find the shoes to match the clothes.
I have a shoe line, but I haven't gotten the guts to put it out yet. I already designed a couple of pair of sneakers and everything, but you know what it is? The manufacturer is overseas, and I have to touch the sneaker. Exactly. I can't trust, because I've ordered some shoes from offline, and they look amazing on Instagram, and when they got to the crib, they was plastic. I was like, I can't do that. So I would have to actually go to the manufacturer and actually touch the sneaker, see the quality of it, because I'm a sneakerhead. So but I have a sneaker design. I really do.
Well, if you need, we'll talk off air. I'm just saying, because Summer's voice needs an upgrade. I don't have no hair, so that's out. Right. So I need to cater to the big boy. Like, I'm not like 400 pounds or nothing, but right. I'm a big boy.
So about 2X, 3X, something like that.
About 1X actually.
Okay.
Depending on the coat, because I have very broad shoulders.
Okay.
I need about 48 in a jacket.
Yeah, you good, man. We got stuff up to size 6X. So you definitely good, man.
Yeah. So we would like to be an ambassador for your line over in Texas. But again, like I said, I'll shoot your person, my direct information, so we can talk to each other live.
That's what it is.
All this stuff. So, anywho, can you please tell the family how they can get all of your music, all your social media handles, how they can follow you, and what website they can go to? I say website because, again...
What's my website again? Right now. Yeah, I'm trying to remember my website. But they can get me at Jason Hendrickson on Facebook, Jason Hendrickson on Instagram, and my website is www.jhen.com. That's JAEHEN.com. On Twitter, I'm at jhen. And what else is there? I think I'm on TikTok, JNBK. Just put in my name, Jason Hendrickson, and it all pops up. Pops up. And I gotta give a big shout out to my church, Restoration Tabernacle, because if I don't do that, they will strangle me. I pastor some of the most thorough people in the world. They don't play. They're like, Pastor, you going on all these shows? You better give us a shout out. I'm like, yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Don't worry about it. So to my family and to everybody, thank you guys for supporting me. And my clothing line website is 329 All Things at allthingsapparel.com. Well, it's 329 allthingsapparel.com. So if you want to go shopping, our store's open 24 hours, 7 days a week. Of course, all of our music is on every digital platform. And this song, My Longing, I got to send you the video, Pastor Chris. I'm going to send it to you as soon as we get offline. I just got the final cut while I was online with you. So I'm going to approve it and make sure it's what it needs to be. But I'm going to get it to you, man, so you can pump it on your show and all that stuff. It came out crazy, though. Came out crazy. Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I can see it's filmed in the East Coast, right?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah. Get that brick city looking like with the ground cracks and all that stuff with the smoke in the background. see, they don't know nothing about it. It's nothing like that East Coast smog. I'm just saying. I'm sorry. Y'all won't understand. But anywho, Ari was gonna ask you about if you had any shout outs. You just did that. So in closing, and we'll close out with your song Longing, but what can you tell an inspiring indie artist that may be stuck, discouraged, feel like that this isn't worth it, I'm ready to hang it up? What can you tell them to inspire them to continue what God has birthed inside them? You have the floor.
I tell you guys the same thing Kirk Franklin told me. Live. The more you live, the more you'll have to write about. The more you live, the more you'll see the hand of God. The more you live, you'll start to see the favor of God, things manifesting in your life. I asked Kirk, I was like, yo, man, why you take so long to put out music, between albums? He said, because I have to live. In order for me to have something to write about, I got to live. And in the process of me living, I'm making a conscious decision not to die. And that's my advice to you guys, because it's never been about talent with most of us. It's just about having the guts to go after what you have grace on your life for. Don't try to do what anybody else is doing. Be okay knowing that God graced you for this. You don't have to try to fit into this clique or that clack. Be you and keep living.
Amen. Well, ladies and gentlemen, my new friend from the East Coast, Pastor Jason Hendrickson, was in the building chilling with your boy, the Psalmist Voice. Now, listen, y'all can see this show again if you missed it, because I know it's early for some of y'all. So we'll rebroadcast it at 4 o'clock Central Standard Time, 5 o'clock East Coast time, so y'all can see it right here again. Just saying. So I want to thank my esteemed guest, gospel recording artist, pastor, designer, you name it, he is. Pastor Jason Hendrickson was in the building. Yes, sir. And it was a pleasure. And anytime you got something going on, you already got my contact.
Now, do you really mean that? Because a lot of radio hosts tell me that, and then when I call them back, they don't pick up the phone. Do you really mean that, Pastor Chris?
Bro, listen, you're in the family now.
All right.
And it's the East Coast code. When you say something, you mean it.
That's right.
And all the people that has been on this platform can tell you that I'm true to my word. So I mean what I say. I ain't that big and I ain't that busy. Well, I am, but I make time for the family. Just saying. So that's real. There's no fillers or chasers with that one. I mean what I say. So I give you my personal number so you can call me directly. None of this, speak to my secretary nonsense. No, you get my personal number. We could talk off air because we're pastors. We need each other. I'm just saying. We got a very small circle of people.
Yeah, man.
I know. So, I mean what I say, bro. So, as soon as we're done, I'm going to shoot you my stuff and we can talk. So, anywho, ladies and gentlemen, this was the exclusive interview with yours truly, the Psalmist Voice, with my very special guest, gospel recording artist, pastor, entrepreneur. He is Jason Hendrickson from the East Coast. What's good? So, family, we're out of here. We love you. God bless you. You are more than you think and greater than you heard. And when you see the psalmist's voice, when you see Jason Hendrickson with a blazer, blinging all out with his new shoe line about to launch, got a new single, My Longing. Y'all better get it right now. Walk with us, family. Let's go. We'll see you next time for another exciting episode of The Exclusive Interview. And I'm done. We'll see you next time.
Only you can satisfy my longing. Only you can satisfy my heart. Only you can satisfy my longing. Only you can satisfy my heart. Oh, taste and see, He is good. Taste and see, my God is good. Taste and see, He is good. Only you can satisfy my longing. Only you can satisfy my longing. Only you can satisfy my heart. My heart. Only you can satisfy. Yeah. My longing. Only you can satisfy my heart. My heart. Taste and see, He is good. Taste and see, my God is good. He is good. Taste and see, He is good. Only you can satisfy my longing. Oh, taste and see, He is good. Oh, He is good. He's the lover of my soul. He is good. Only you, my longing. You'll never thirst again once you drink all this water. My God is good. Oh, taste and see, He is good, yeah. Only you, woo, my longing. Only you can satisfy my longing. Only you can satisfy my heart. Only you can satisfy my longing. Only you can satisfy my heart. You are good, Lord. You are good, Lord. I said you're so good. You are good, Lord. His mercy endures forever. His mercy endures forever.
It's the exclusive interview with the Psalmist Voice right now on TPV Radio.